What it do, what it do, what it do. It is your boy Andrew Schultz, aka Mr. Goody Two Shoes.
Recording in progress.
Hey,
What it do, what it do, what it do. It is your boy Andrew Schultz, aka Mr. Goody Two Shoes. And who am I with as always? It is Joseph Huggins, aka Old Man Huggy. Talk shit or get off the pod. Episode 62. You too still sucks. Sorry, my Irish people. Welcome, motherfuckers.
yeah, man. I mean, oh wait, I gotta give you your pause.
I don't want you to, but it's fine.
Hey, fucking it up. Let's go. Cheers and applause for everybody. What's up, man? How are you?
I'm there. I'm alive.
Well, you
How
gave
about
me
that?
shit, so congratulations on your Phillies going to the World Series. That's a thing. I'm not that big of a Phillies fan. I mean, I guess I kind of am. I grew up going to Rangers games.
Okay.
Well, no, like so I pull for the Rangers, but also like the Rangers suck. So
Well, why
it's
are
like
you an
old
Eagles
Rangers.
fan?
All right.
I forget.
All right, so this is like it's a whole thing, but
Well, just keep it brief.
all right. Well, grew up house full of girls who didn't care about football, didn't play sports. My dad was kind of a nerd in the sense that he was into like photography and all that, so he never really did much when it came to like playing sports. He was good at golf. And when I was growing up, the Eagles were always kind of mean on defense. And honestly, and it's going to sound super cheesy, but when they had that Marvin Harrison and Donovan McNabb connection at Syracuse, I was like, dude, this guy's a badass. And he played basketball. So Syracuse is my favorite basketball team, like college basketball team. I always either root for them or Baylor. And yeah, it's super goofy. I know it makes no sense. But then he ended up being drafted to the Eagles. And my mom at the time was dating a guy who's also from Philly. So when I was like, hey man, for Christmas, I want a McNabb jersey. He was like, all right, here you go. He was like, fuck yeah, here you go. So when I got into the Eagles, he just OD'd, gave me a bunch of stuff. But it was really McNabb, man. I was super into
So
McNabb.
does your dad like resent you
No,
because
he does. He can.
you like the Eagles
He can
because
care less.
your mom, his ex gave you her boyfriend gave you a fucking jersey?
No, well, but that's the thing is like I was in. So when they started dating, I was kind of already into the Eagles because I liked Bobby Taylor, what was it, Chad Lewis. Yeah, I had Troy Vincent. They were really mean on defense. So when you watch the Cowboys, I was like, dude, the Cowboys fucking suck. When I started to really understand football, that's why when people our age claim the Super Bowl titles, I'm like, dude, you were in bed. You were like pissing your pants when the last time they won a Super Bowl, or maybe having like night terrors. I don't know, but that was going on.
Literally, one of my earliest memories is going to a Bills Cowboys Super Bowl party, like that my dad like with and his friends. That's how long ago it was. It's one of my earliest fucking memories. Like,
Yeah, I think my first Super Bowl memory was my sister Sarah got to stay up and watch the end of one of the Bills Cowboys Super Bowls, and I had to go to bed, bro, and it was like 6:30. So get the fuck out of here. So I was really into the Birds, and then when they got McNabb, I was like super into it because like I mean, and it's gonna sound corny, but growing up in Southlake, there not really being a lot of black quarterbacks, being in an all Caucasian family and an all white school in a super conservative area, there was like a black guy out there like tearing shit up and running past people, and I just was like, fuck yeah, that's my favorite dude. Like and I was all in and rode that for forever. I mean, I still have McNabb swag for sure. And then it just like went on. Then as I got older and I became kind of a sarcastic, antagonistic asshole, I enjoyed the fact that like principals would be like, Eagles suck. And I was like, what, dude? I'm in like 7th grade. Like, get the fuck out of my face, bro. But it was funny because you get such a visceral response. And I was like, dude, the Cowboys blow. Quincy Carter, Drew Henson. That, yeah, it was Eagles. And it's been forever at this point.
yeah, I think it was maybe right around the same exact year. One of my other earliest memories is watching fucking Joe Carter of the Toronto Blue Jays rock a
Yep.
home run
Yep.
against the Phillies in the World Series. Like I was asleep and then woke up to my dad watching the game, and he like let me stay up, and then we just watched the Phillies lose a fucking World Series, and then they didn't win again until what was it, '08. So
Yeah.
I mean, so we have one on the board, and I actually went and saw that team play the Dodgers in the playoffs that year. So pretty
Yeah,
cool.
yeah. I mean, because whenever the Patriots lost to or beat the Eagles in the Super Bowl, like I was already like diehard Eagles fan at that point. Like,
Right.
and that was that was forever ago when we think about it on the spectrum of time and how old we are. That like that's a long time. So it's been well, I mean, because
When they won the Super Bowl?
no, whenever we lost the Super Bowl, McNabb and
Oh,
T.O. and that whole
Yeah,
team,
yeah.
Corell Buckhalter. I mean, I can name them all off too. So it's like Trent Cole, Hugh Douglas. We had a
It's
gang.
so weird.
Javon
It's so weird
Curse.
because the Eagles lost to the Patriots that year.
Mhm.
What was that, like 04, 05?
I think that was like 01, 02, man. That was like
No.
because I was like 13
We were
or
in
14.
high school.
No, we were but yeah, no, it was like it was honestly, it was like 01 because it was like 01 or 02, whenever, or maybe 04, maybe. But I remember like I was younger for sure.
Well, what I was gonna say is like I regret not being able to watch that game because I had a hockey game at the exact same time, but the Eagles lost, so I don't know why I regret it.
Yeah, I was pissed. So then whenever we beat Tom
It was
Brady,
it was 04, dude.
oh, 04, okay, yeah,
We were
okay,
juniors in high school.
okay, yeah, so 04, okay, my bad, but still,
Better apologize. We actually were seniors.
yeah, no, we were going into the summer of,
juniors,
we were going
juniors.
into the summer of our senior year.
Well, yeah,
Because Super Bowl is
this-
like February at that period of time, right?
January, yeah, end
Or
of
January 31st or whatever the fuck it would be, the
Yeah,
goofy
yeah.
ass day. But anyways, rabbit hole.
Okay, yeah,
62 in the
40
house.
countries that don't give a shit about football.
That's true. But it is kind of a paradox that I'm like an Eagles fan. I grew up in Dallas, and
Well, it's just weird because you're like in Philadelphia Eagles fan in football, a Boston Celtics fan.
Paul
And
Pierce. It was all players.
in the NBA.
It was all players. It was people.
Yeah.
Like I because I didn't really have a team, so I followed players. So it was like
Which is-
McNabb, Vlad Guerrero, Paul Pierce, where it was like those were my dudes, and I've stayed with those teams, but they're why I fell in love with that team.
Yeah,
There you go.
which
Yeah.
you were ahead of the game, like because that's what I think these Gen Z kids do now, especially with the NBA.
Oh
is
yeah, and it
they
makes
just
it
follow
easier.
players.
Yeah, but you can follow all of it, so I know all the players, but I had like my favorites, and he wasn't even like the greatest. I just liked. I wish I could play how he played basketball, if that makes sense. I think normally your favorite player is someone that is like, oh, I wish I could shoot threes like Larry Bird, or you know what I'm saying?
Larry Bird didn't shoot threes
Yeah, he did. Larry Bird was cold from three. What are you talking about, bro?
for half of his career. They didn't even have a 3-point line.
Get out of here. No, have you not heard the story about him winning the 3-point contest and how he like walked in and called game and was talking shit and didn't miss a single shot?
But what was that, like the first time they ever had a 3-point contest?
No, dude, he's top 25 in 3-pointers made all time.
No.
Yeah.
Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
There's probably like 4 Celtics that have more 3-pointers than Larry Bird. Drunk, ridiculous ass. Oh, my back hurts. I'm gonna drink some beers. That's my Larry Bird impression.
Oh, dang, yeah, I guess he has been passed. Wait.
Yeah, of course he has. There's no way he's like even in.
Dude,
like,
Kyle Lowry's on this list. That's crazy.
That's what I'm saying. Like the game has changed.
It's changed so much. Yeah, that's true.
I also don't think that he had a 3-point line.
Paul Pierce is 11. Paul Pierce is 11. He's ahead of Dirk. Let's go.
Isn't Paul Pierce the leading scorer in the Celtics history?
I don't think so. He's second.
Behind
Number one is Hondo. I believe it's Havlicek is number one overall.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because that's a deep franchise, you know.
Yeah, but he's number 11 all time in threes.
Who?
Paul Pierce.
Okay, but who? What about Larry Bird?
Oh, it's not even showing him anymore.
Yeah, because
that
he's
used
not
to
on
be
the
a big.
fucking list.
That used
He's
to
not
be
on
a
the fucking
thing because
list.
Allen Houston's on this list.
Not Larry Bird.
Oh my god! I thought he was cold from three, man. I thought he had something.
Birds aren't real. You already know. Except for the Eagles.
Russell Wilson, or not Russell Wilson. Russell Westbrook's number 100 all time. That's crazy.
Well, the Phillies played the Cardinals in the very first round of this baseball playoffs.
Yeah.
And it was the exact same week that the Eagles were playing the Cardinals, and we put it on them, on both Cardinals teams, the baseball and football team. I told my brother, I was like, Phillies are going to go win the World Series. He's like, dude, no way. They got lucky in that first game against the Cardinals. Nah. And America's rooting for Philly to win this World Series because everybody hates the fucking Astros.
That's true.
The
Which is
the Constitution, the most precious document handed down to us by Jesus Christ of the United States was in Philadelphia.
That's true. And no one really, like, everybody, people don't like to root for Philly, but they'll root for Philly if it's against, like, the Astros, or when we're playing the Patriots in the Super Bowl. Everybody was like, man, I hope Philly gets their first Super Bowl because we were playing Tom Brady. If it was anyone else, they'd be like, fuck those guys.
Yeah, fuck Tom Brady. But we'll talk about that on the Angry Black Quarterback.
Yeah, we'll talk about that later. All right, let's get into this shit. You got some weird-ass questions, man.
I know. Well, I'm running out of, like, philosophical therapy questions because we have been so prolific. It's a testament to, our
Go get, like, a bathroom quote book or, like, a coffee table book, and then you can just pull shit from there. That's like some of the best quotes I have are from, like, toilet books where I'm like, ooh, I'm going to remember that shit.
But these aren't quotes. These are questions.
No, I know. There's got to be toilet questions.
Well, I just need to get a new therapist because it all started with my therapist actually giving me questions to use on the podcast. And then she dumped me right after I got laid off from work, lost my house, and my girlfriend dumped me all within a month. Then my therapist dumped me. She was like, oh, I think this is a good time to, like, for Andy not to have therapy.
She's like, I'm out.
She's like, wait, so did you lose your health insurance with when you lost your job? Oh, okay, now I'm out.
Okay, yeah, peace out. Okay, bye.
Yeah,
I think you'll be fine. You're fine.
I'm so glad that we never dropped her name on the podcast, even though she wanted us to.
Well, yeah, if you're gonna bail out, what kind of therapist
well,
is that?
I didn't know she was gonna bail out, but it was like I was like trying to negotiate like with her on some free sessions if we were gonna drop her name on the podcast. And then
that's probably why she dropped you. You're over here trying to cut business deals.
No, but then I got to a point where I'm like, I feel like a dick because she gave us all these questions that we use on the podcast. Like, isn't that enough to, like, say her name? And then she broke up with me, and I'm like, okay, yeah, go fuck yourself.
I wonder if she ever hears that, and she's just like, man.
No, she took her, like, over a month to listen to, like, the first episode where we used her fucking questions. Like, I thought she was a fangirl, to be honest. Like, it wasn't a lot of
therapist. That's wild.
Yeah, it was. All we would talk about is the podcast, and there was a very little therapy. She actually asked me, she's like, why do you come into therapy? Like, I'm like, what? I was like, you're supposed to tell me that, like, why I'm here. Like, what do you mean? I was like, I'm here for, like, maintenance, because she was like, well, it seems like you have your shit together. Like, you have a job and you're doing well and you have a girlfriend. And I'm like, okay, but it's, very thin. It's a very thin line. This could all go to shit real quick. And then a couple months later, it did. Well, she's like, I'm out.
Well, now you got a new job. You've risen like a phoenix from the ashes.
Okay, so listen to this.
To come out and mix it up, which you have. So.
Well, yeah, but so they just turned my contract on Monday.
Yeah.
On Friday, I go into a meeting, and I'm not really sure what position this guy's in. I go into business coaching meetings with him.
Okay.
But like he's almost like an assistant manager, but that's not his title, so I don't really get it. But anyways, I go. He listened to the podcast where we have a meeting at 8 a.m. Breakfast Club is what we call it on Friday, and he's like, Andy, he's like, I like that tie that you're wearing. He's like, I listened to your podcast, and everybody's like getting into the conference room. I'm like, oh, you did? And he's like, yeah, we got to talk about it. And I was like, okay. And he was like, no, seriously, about like compliance issues, but I'll talk to you about it later. He hasn't talked to me.
Well, then we should make sure we're very careful, man.
No, we're not censoring for anybody. I mean, compliance issues, I'm always, from day one, because it started as a finance podcast, have gone out of my way to be like, not a financial advisor, this is not financial advice. And I've never said like my current company's name or anything. So
yeah, but I mean, yeah. True. But
but there might be some like illicit like drugs or whatever like that I've talked about doing in the past that maybe he's talking about. But again, they didn't drug test me, so
it depends on how long of an episode it is.
Yeah, and I don't do that many drugs. I just, I don't know if they feel uncomfortable with like
You do
know.
you, man. You live your best life. You're out
Fun
there,
guy,
Phoenix,
fun
out
guy,
of the
like-
ashes, raising compliance issues, potentially.
He just said that, but then never said anything to me. Like, so now, and then I saw him again this morning.
You can't do that. I that gives me anxiety. I would hunt him down and be like, what? Until
Well,
you
he
tell
left.
me.
He left in the middle of that meeting because he had to go to our downtown office, and then I saw him this morning, and I kind of forgot that he had said that, and he never brought it up. And then afterwards, I'm like, shit. But like, I mean, what are they gonna do? Come and tell me to stop doing the podcast, or don't work there?
Well, he's gonna like you're gonna be doing something. And he's gonna like catch you. He's gonna be like behind a pillar, and you're gonna walk by, and he's like Schultz, and you'll be like, oh, and he'll just be like leaning against it, like let's talk real quick. He's just gonna fucking like splinter cell you, dude. That's what's gonna happen.
It's
That's
kind
how
of
they
his
get
vibe,
you.
Kind of his vibe, and you know he's probably listening again right now, and you know what? Good for you,
I've
sir.
seen that in like seen that happen in like the real big corporate properties and stuff, where you just get like tapped on the shoulder, like come here. And you're like what? And you just like slipped into some random. Like I didn't even know there was a door there, or there was an office there. Like where the fuck did that come from? Did they put this up just for this meeting? Like
That happened because like in our so there was 5 of us that started training on the same day, and then all of a sudden there was only 4 on training day, and then we were in the office and there was 3 of okay, so then one of the 4 is like sitting behind me, and they literally like, hey, you know, we'll say his name's Simon.
it's a good name.
It might actually be his real name because I couldn't come up with one. But they're like, hey, can we? I don't know his last name, and nobody knows who he is. They're like, hey, can we talk to you real quick? This is why we're still in training. And I turned around like 10 minutes later, and all of his stuff was gone. And I was like, and they're like, yeah, we had to let him go. I'm like, what just happened?
That's wild. Yeah, man.
What you're saying, like, yeah, that.
Mind your P's and Q's, bro.
I mean, I'm trying. You know, I'm out here grinding.
But they always like get you and like pull you in some separate room that you didn't know was a room, or it was like a broom closet, and there's like a nice couch, and you're like, what? Like, what the fuck? Where did this fucking come from? Like, take a seat, sit down, let's chat for a little bit.
Well, my last job, which is almost a year ago when I got laid off, they had us all come into a meeting and locked all the people they were laying off, which was like 15 of us that were actually there that day, into a conference room, and we were not allowed to leave the conference room until they gave us our severance packages, one by one.
Intense.
Yeah, it was like some Succession shit. Like it was like gnarly. It was like, but in that conference room was where my general manager's private bathroom was.
Yeah.
And I walked over because I was gonna go take a shit in it and just leave it.
Oh my gosh.
But it was locked. It was locked.
Good.
And then I was like the second person out of the 15 that they called in to do the severance thing. So, and which made it kind of tough on me because I wanted to negotiate, but I knew that there was 13 other people locked in a conference room, all of which had like kids, and I was literally the newest person there, and I'd been there for 4 years, but most people had been there for over 10 years that were in that room. And I was like, I can't, like, in good conscience, like,
yeah, that'd be intense, man. I've never been in that situation before, to be like called in with like 30 people would be this like intense. I guess the closest thing is whenever we got called in for all skipping tech ed, and we all ran away from that stuff because there was multiple bells, and they pulled all of us to fuck in that conference room. And it was like, luckily we had some like kind of like goodies in the group with us. The whole class ran out. Not everybody was like,
well, that's how you have to do
gang. Not everybody was gang all day, but some people became that day. I swear there's people I was tight with later in life after that whole, because we were all pulled into this conference room. They're like, what the fuck, you guys?
Yeah, that was what, if you didn't hear the episode, we like we were fucking with our substitute teacher, and bell went off for like the older kids, and we all just said that was the bell for us to leave. We had been like in the class for like not very long,
like 25 minutes or something, and we all left. And then she realized later, and we got all
And
like,
then
and then the next day,
and then
it
she
was
was she was our sub for what, 2 weeks?
yeah, 2 weeks. We all had to go back and apologize. I felt bad. That was kind of rough because she was well,
Whatever.
nah. I mean, in hindsight, we did
It's not like she like lost her commission on like
true,
the
and it was
day,
tech ed class. I don't know what she.
Probably the best thing that ever happened to her was like, oh wait, I don't have to do this class and I still get paid. Okay, cool.
And I guess in hindsight, it did kind of suck because we didn't get any what's it called? We didn't get to do any of the tech ed stuff because Mr. D wasn't there and she didn't know how to use any of the equipment, so we weren't allowed to touch it. We just like sat there and did like doodles and shit all day.
Turn that light out.
All right, therapy questions.
All right, therapy question number 1, y'all. As we do here on Talk Shit or Get Off the Pod, episode 62. You too, you still suck. Shout out Bono for just impregnating my phone with an album that I didn't ask for, but we'll get to that.
Yeah.
Number 1, therapy question, Joseph. Why are lethal injections sterilized?
Because, other people besides the person who's getting lethal injected touches it. I think it's just medical standards, right?
No, I'm thinking of like they go and they
swab
your
it.
arm.
Oh yeah,
with
they
the
swab
alcohol.
it. I think that's just medical procedure, right?
But
I don't know.
You're literally killing somebody against their will.
True, and if you're gonna try to justify it, you need to make sure you cross all your T's and dot your I's. They're like, they're not sterilizing it. That's inhumane. They can be like, nope, absolutely not. We did a little alcohol swab, put it in there. We made sure we were real nice to him.
Nah, dude, that's like.
I think it's part of the illusion of being like, oh yeah, this is easy.
No, this is the like Lysol lobby that like somebody's like has a factory and they're like
that's all they make
in their district. Yeah, who makes these like
lethal injection alcohol.
Not the actual, because I think most states, if not all of them, stopped making that. These companies stopped making lethal injections.
Yeah.
They couldn't get them to where they were like trying to come up with like weird cocktails and like it wasn't working, like out in Oklahoma or something, and it's like the dude's like still alive, like fucking suffering, and then they like brought in like firing squads and like the gas chamber back, like
dude,
they're so committed to killing people.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, but
who's like mass producing that has a contract to do that. I met a guy.
It has to be bureaucracy, right?
Yeah. So I met this dude who was out with
on
his
death
wife.
row?
No, he was this older guy. No, he was a badass. He was super cool old guy, super goofy, kind of country, and was really, really nice. And his wife was like the sweetest old lady, like Southern lady you could meet. And I was talking to him, and he was like, "Oh yeah, well," he's like, "what you need to do is like what I do." And he has a website. And he'll do like factory direct stuff, but his biggest contracts is he sells like in the 80s. He was like, "Hey, when you guys are cleaning planes, do y'all wear gloves?" And he's like, "Y'all should probably wear gloves." So he distributes and manufactures all like the gloves that American Airlines first started using in like the 80s. And now he's just owned that. Like his company's owned that contract for infinity, and now he does like Spirit and a bunch of other like subsidiaries and other airlines, and that's all he does is sells like gloves and then makes masks, and has been doing that since the 80s. He's like, yeah, I make probably like he's like $18 to $25 million a year.
Yeah, that's like War Dogs, like where it's all about getting government contracts, and like what Jonah Hill says. He's like, look at like they have like just the list.
Yeah, and it started with an airport. He said he started at this airport in like New Hampshire or some shit, and then it just blew up to where then all the other people at the airport wanted him, and he could just give them and get them out real quick. And he was just like, oh,
but I mean, airports are federally regulated, so I'm sure it had to go through like some sort of federal agency to get approved.
Oh yeah, but going from the airport to like just privately contracted through the airline, this guy is sitting there hanging out in his suspenders, like super goofy old country guy, and just being like, yeah, I make like $25 million a year selling gloves and masks and all sorts of China. And like the little plastic trash bags they put in airplanes and the little paper bags that people barf in, and he's like, yeah, I do all of those for American Airlines. And he's like, I do them for like Spirit now. And he's like, I also provide to like other things, like maybe a couple hospitals and stuff. But he's like, the big deals are in the 80s and 90s whenever I got these airlines, and like being sanitary became a thing. So he's like, people getting sick and freaking out made it to where I'm making a shit ton of money. He just hangs out.
So we agree that 100% it's a similar situation, providing these alcohol swabs. on people who are getting lethal injections on death row.
Well, I mean, yeah,
Because
the way they've.
we can't let them get infected by the needle.
Well, I
That
mean, I'm
they're
not sure if it's still true, but there's a mass shortage just for the things in the actual cocktail they use to do that for people.
100%.
Yeah, so there's certain
that's different. That's
yeah,
different.
that's different, but that's because we get a lot of those things from other places on the
From
in
like
the world,
Europe, and they
from
were
Europe and like India.
and they were like, yeah, we're done making this because it is.
Yeah, like we're not
it's
making it anymore.
So toxic, literally.
Yeah,
Like yeah, we don't even want our name on this. Like
yeah,
killing people.
and they're just getting free money from the American government. All right,
Yeah,
number
yeah, no,
two.
it's so bloated. Like the dumb shit that Okay. Well, it's just the industrial prison complex. In America, it's
solid.
Just like, yeah, so much fucking waste of money, like just constantly. It's like I heard some weird stat, like we spend more on our prison system than Russia does on their military. Sick.
Well, that's because
Sick.
there's private prisons that are ran for profit, so that makes it to where it's easy for people.
Which is the most disgusting thing ever.
Yeah, it's pretty weird. It's pretty wild.
All right, therapy question number 2. So we did ask a similar therapy question. Speaking of airplanes, in the past, which was on an airplane in the middle seat, which armrest do you get? And that was actually one of the ones that like I had people like texting me after like it was released, like being like having like they had like a huge like detailed this is who gets what armrest in the middle seat. Like they had a lot of takes.
Did anybody agree with my take?
What was yours?
I think it was like you should at least get the one on the right.
Well, and then I said, well, you don't know which on the right.
Well, I mean, go
either side.
I thought we were talking if you were in the middle seat. So I thought
you're in the middle seat, but you could be on the left side of the airplane or on the right side of the airplane.
Okay, well, I mean, like I guess, yeah, I got you. So towards the window. So the person who has the window has a permanent window and an armrest. So so they can always lean that way and be good. So if you're in the middle seat, you at least get this one. Normally, if you're in the middle seat, you should get both. That's polite. Somebody
that
has a
was
window,
my that was my take
yeah.
is give them both because I always try to get the aisle because I'm a grown ass man, and that's what grown ass men do is sit in the fucking aisle seat.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I lean on the aisle seat arm. Like enough to where I'm not in the way of the actual aisle.
Yeah, and you have like the occasional extra leg room where you can stretch over there. So that's like that's you gotta give the person in the middle. Both.
And I get to hit on the flight attendants, like first before anybody else sitting next to me.
So, true.
Hey
man, it's my turn.
I'm hollering at them like hey. Yeah.
What's a window seat got to do to holler? This aisle guy is just hollering it off.
Shut up. Close the shade. It's bright.
At least give me some pretzels, dog. Come on, man.
No.
You hating, player. Come on, dog.
Also, we're also in the emergency exit row, so you better get your shit together.
Oh, I'm on my job. Don't you worry about that. But I think
you're ordering drinks and I'm drinking them because you're in charge of the door, homie. Window seat.
The movie armrest, though, which armrest?
Oh yeah, the movie armrest is different.
Not really, because now those are obsolete. Every chair has its own, and they recline, and they like vibrate, and they have heat, and all sorts of goofy shit. All movie theater seats have two armrests.
You're still sharing an armrest. Like people like have to.
Is it packed? Is it a packed movie theater?
It's Top Gun, open weekend.
The first one.
No,
the second one.
The one that just made $1 billion.
I made $1 billion. Good lord.
Did.
I think the same rules apply. I guess.
Well, no, because you're not technically.
It's first come, first serve. I think you at least have to give somebody one.
You're picking your seat ahead of time in these new theaters that you were just describing.
Yeah, and I have my two armrests.
Not in the ones that I go to, even though they have like the lazy boy and.
Well, that's what you get living out there in California. They make you you don't even get two armrests out there, and they tax the hell out of you.
For the purpose of the question, you don't get two of your own armrests. Otherwise, what are we even talking about? But what I'm saying is there's nobody who's technically in the middle. because it's a row of seats, not just 3 seats. So it's not like homeboy to your left is on the window, homeboy to your right is in the aisle. You're all three in the row of seats. So which way do you go? I feel like that it skews to the right.
That's fair. I think it's
That's
first come, first serve, and that person dictates the direction it goes, if it skews right or left. Because if you have a big row of seats and somebody sits like left center, and then like there's a three group that ends up being full, it's gonna end up being like that first person's gonna decide. Because if they sit next to him, then everyone's gonna kind of shift.
Okay, I actually just figured out the answer, and it's obvious now. So if you're on a date, then you skew towards each other, right?
Yeah,
so
that's fair.
So if she's on my right, I'm going right, and she's going left.
Yep.
And then if there's 3 of you, then everybody skews towards the middle.
Yeah.
So your homie's in the middle of you and your friend, then you guys should be leaning towards your friend, not the other way.
All 3 of y'all hold
'Cause that's
hands, and then you triple kiss. It's perfect, dog. Yeah, exactly. That's movie
That's
night. Bro night.
It's hot.
Bro night.
Because you're just man spreading if you're leaning away from your friend towards a stranger.
True.
You know, and we all know we don't like man spreading in 2022. Even though I see more women man spread than I do men.
I would man spread back. I think it balances each other out. Everybody just likes to be lazy and like flop around, and we all have bad posture. No one sits like perfectly straight up. That's just goofy.
I went to Cotillion.
Yeah, but if you saw
the reason why I'm not sitting straight up is because I gotta lean into my microphone because I didn't got like some bougie like stand like you do.
It's pretty nice. It's kind of short though. It's just a little guy, but I can adjust it and make it really tall.
That's what she said.
Yeah, she did. She did say that.
And then he said that he could adjust it and make it tall. All right.
Therapy question number 3.
Therapy question number 3. What the fuck does Joseph's shirt say? Chartreuse?
Chartreuse. Chartreuse. It's a cordial. It's a booze. It's a good shirt. It's comfy.
It's like a work shirt?
No, it's just like a random shirt. I just wear random shirts every time. So
I know. I try to. Yeah, I've got my own style going here.
Yeah, the stash is gone, by the way.
I did wear the stash on Tuesday after our podcast, and it was jarring to my coworkers.
That's how you do it, man. You walk.
I was like trying to make a joke to one of the girls who's like one of the recruiters. Like it was like a throwback like of like something that had happened, and she's like, I don't understand what you're saying, and I had to like explain the joke, and then I was like, oh, that was awkward, and then I realized, oh yeah, I've got this like creepy ass mustache on that she had never seen before.
Oh yeah, maybe that's the compliance issue. It's the stash.
No.
Did you talk like Dennis Farina too? Like, hey, good morning. Hey, I got a joke for you.
No, but so the guy that I was talking about who did listen to the podcast, I had brought up how you had said that I should have like a Chicago accent when I come into the office. And then I was like, well, there's a lot of dudes from Chicago here, like including my boss. And I don't know, he was laughing about it, but like, I just can't do a Chicago accent. Like,
Not that mine's any good.
Yeah, your accents are pretty like on point. They're definitely better than mine.
Yeah,
like
your a lot.
Your Rasputin.
My Russian accent.
It's like almost too good.
Matroshka. I don't know. I just hear stuff and I can try to like imitate it.
You're freaking out the Czech Republic, Finland, and Slovenia, who all listen to the podcast.
Do not be afraid, comrade. It will be okay. Please take a seat. Have a sip of vodka. Maybe have, American burger, something delicious. Please do not be afraid. No. I'm just locking the door for both our safety. Please. Tea.
No. I know, dude. Dude, I mean, you might be a Russian asset. We don't even know. And
maybe I am.
This is a long game because they just know that I'm such a fucking American patriot.
Not likely, but it is probable. Probable.
Like, Yeah, every time we get another country out of like the Eastern Bloc, like
Yeah,
they're like,
I
let's
like
talk
this
let's
Joseph guy. He has good jokes. He is a American hotshot. I really like him.
That's how we got
Yeah.
Myanmar. Uh,
I wonder if he's on the web. I can find him. Yeah, that'd be awesome.
use Elon Starlink before it goes away. You stupid Russians! You can't even like you, you can't even take out the cell towers in Ukraine, but you want to win a war? Get the fuck out of here! All right. Uh, therapy question number 3: Why does it take so long for quicksand to work?
Because you gotta struggle a little bit.
Jesus Christ!
Well, I mean, right? That you get stuck in it, and then it's like going underneath you. But normally you get stuck.
Well,
It consumes you.
why is it not slow sand?
Because I mean, I feel like that's some stupid dad joke. Why don't they call it slow sand? I love that this resort's all inclusive. It's like, chill, dad. Please stop drinking. I mean, I can't. I don't know because
Okay, what is quicksand, by the way?
I think it's where there's it's like a sand pit. I don't know why I say sand pit. There's not. It's not like an actual sand where it like, but like if you watch like the movie Prey, where it's kind of like a boggy marsh type thing where it looks like it'd be solid ground, but it's actually not, and it's more like porous and liquidy, so you can get stuck in it. It's like a land swamp, but it's like
And that it's like a Chinese finger trap. Like the harder you try to get out of it, the more you're going down.
yeah,
into it.
like like the old like tar pits and stuff, like where they're like,
Well,
oh
yeah.
we pulled a dinosaur out of there, like those
Yeah,
guys, like
La Brea Tar Pits out here in LA.
yeah.
They have a show. They have a show now on Peacock.
Okay, well, like the tar pits, it's like the same theory, but it'd just be like kind of ground. So it's not necessary, or it could be sinkholes. I mean, I don't know.
Well, that was what I was gonna say. It was like because as you were describing, I'm like, is it just like a sinkhole in Florida?
Well, and that's why I personally think Florida, like, despite all the Florida jokes, although Florida is like full of crazy people, Florida is like such a dangerous place just to live. Even if everybody there was normal, there's like stories that people where sinkholes open up under their house and like people fall and like they never find them. Also, there's that hotel.
Okay, well, don't offend. Oh yeah, the hotel.
Yeah, like half of it like collapsed, and like there was the Corvette
that was
Museum.
sad as fuck.
The Corvette, yeah,
or the shit ton of people died there.
Or the Corvette Museum where it just opened up underneath the showroom floor and like $15 million in classic Corvettes that were like one of a kind just plummeted into some anywhere that were like you have the probability of like some 300-foot abyss just opening up under your house. Like you shouldn't live there. And there's like giant snakes and shit and iguanas everywhere.
I know, but I just wanted to just point out, like, while we're speaking of the international countries that listen to this, Germany is at number 1 on the list.
It's pretty rowdy.
Of our audience, and I think they'd be offended by you saying that Florida's full of crazy people because they're like, hold my beer. It's Oktoberfest, bitch, and it's Germany.
That's true. That is true.
We're the craziest.
Shout out Germany. That's pretty crazy that Germany's our number 1.
Well, they're tied with the UK.
Okay,
but they're a huge block. Like both of them together, it's like it's crazy how many people.
Solid chunk.
Yeah, it's a lot. Like it's weird.
All right, well that's cool. Well, shout out Germany.
We have a huge like military base. The United States does in Germany, so it could be like some military dudes from America, but I like to think it's like some like hot blondes and like lederhosen or something. That's right, ladies. My last name is Schultz.
You're ridiculous.
Not German. Not German. Super Irish.
All right.
Holler at your boy.
Number 4. Good Lord.
Slide into my DMs.
No, don't do that.
Why?
Well, I don't know.
Why are you trying to cock block me?
I'm not. I'm just trying to keep you safe, man. It's Oktoberfest. I don't need you. You will never come back. You would disappear. And then there'd be some like First 48.
Oh, First 48.
International edition. That'd be tight. I'd watch that.
But,
that's a murder show. I'd watch like Interpool. That'd be
You
tight.
love Unsolved Mysteries. You said that already. So
shout out Unsolved Mysteries with Dennis Farina.
Well, you could start another podcast and it would be like discovering what happened to your co-host in Germany.
All right, you have to listen. You have to watch a Dennis Farina episode of Unsolved Mysteries before the next episode. Killer photographer terrorizes the Miami coast tonight on Unsolved Mysteries.
I'm not gonna do that.
You have to. It's too good, man.
Yo,
Orange because he's this like
He's
ghost
just, like,
white hair.
he's
He's
out in
just
Florida all the
wandering
time.
around, but it's all like the spooky backgrounds. It's like it's not spooky. Like that's Dennis Farina behind a Denny's. Like, what are you doing, dude? Quit telling ghost stories. Get the
he's
fuck
like
in the car. We gotta go home.
He's at a Hardee's with Mike Lindell.
Yeah, he's like, hey, we're looking for Mike's phone over here.
Like, the FBI just took it. Be like,
Did you ping it? Did you fucking ping it?
He's like, no, it's a flip phone. Dude.
Oh. And he's hitting crack. I don't know.
Like, is there any doubt that the My Pillow guy, Mike Lindell, is
Still?
not on? He's definitely taking like he's overprescribed on Adderall. Like,
Yeah,
at the very least, if he's not doing cocaine.
No, and that's where I could see him being like on a shit ton of Adderall.
Me too.
And it being something where he's like having these manic moments where he's watching and like looking at all this data and people are just handing him shit with numbers and he's like, all the evidence is in here, and he can like see it because he's all Adderalled out, but like it's like not really there. It's just like tons and tons of paper, and he's like, that's why I can't show it because, and he just can't get it out.
I know, and I don't even want to give him the credit of Adderall. Like, I just think it probably would be easier for him to be on Adderall than it would for him to be consistently on cocaine.
Or it'd have to be something like it has to be something like the pills that Trump was on when he's on all like that Sudafed or whatever. Has just hopped up on like random amphetamines and making pillows and shit.
I think Trump might be on that shit's on Adderall too, like, because said that he doesn't drink, which I actually think because he says he doesn't drink means he drinks a shit ton, probably.
Maybe.
But I also think that it probably would have come out by now because he can't get away with anything. It's just like,
yeah, that's fair.
He can't. Yeah, he just like steals like Kim Jong Un's like love letter and like gets caught. So I'm sure somebody at this point would have been like, no, yeah, he takes down a fifth of Jack every night.
Yeah, I see him all the time.
In his Diet Coke.
He's got fucking old time, dude. He drinks gross shit. It's not even good. He's the president and he's not getting drunk on anything good. He's drinking Skull vodka out of a plastic fucking fifth. He's like
with like Eric Trump.
Where's my koozie? Who's seen it? Somebody knows where my koozie is. It's the one with the corgis on it and their butts. It's hilarious. Everyone loves my koozie. Everyone wants to steal it.
Corgis.
Yeah,
he's a fucking sociopath. Like,
I don't know, because he would be.
He's like the only person who's never had a dog.
It's got the angel of death on it, but my face is superimposed. Where is it? Who's seen my koozie for my little fifty? I need it. He's like drinking like Taka or Heaven Hill, some just ratchet shit.
100% he's drinking like from a plastic like
little like shooters. Oh, is he a shooters guy?
No, he's not a shooters guy. He's not a shooters guy. That's too classy for him. He's like a pop off, drink like half of a gallon, throw it against the wall, yell at somebody, and then demand like for another one.
You make me more.
No, but I actually think that he's like just on hella prescription drugs that make him
probably,
or he's just fucking senile or both.
It's a combination. A crazy person on Adderall, an old crazy person on Adderall, that is a nightmare.
That's gonna be.
He's gonna get lost
like 30
easy.
Years.
He's gonna get lost easy and have a lot of energy. That's a scary fucking silver alert, dude. A hopped up silver alert on some Adderall and like Sudafed, Diet Coke flying around, being
like that's just. I feel like they're just they're just handing out Adderall like it's fucking like just like candy in a dish, like at the White House when
like
he was in
buckets of fucking KFC riding shotgun, dude. That's terrifying. He's like crazy racist. Like that. That's a night.
That is the one thing. That is the one thing because he's like morbidly obese.
That's a movie.
So is he like putting Adderall like on cheeseburgers? Like
Yeah, I mean my blue cheese Adderall burger, extra bacon, damn it.
Well, I think it was half baked, where they're like, or or Don't Be a Menace. I forget which one. And it was like, I'm addicted to cocaine. He's like, cocaine? How are you addicted to cocaine? You've been putting that on cheeseburgers? Because it was like a fat. Yeah, like Trump would be a lot skinnier now that I think about it if he was doing like uppers.
Yeah, if he was doing a lot of uppers, maybe he's like, yeah, benzo dude. Who knows?
Yeah, maybe he has like a thyroid problem or something.
It's possible.
Dude is thick.
He is
So
thick,
thick
bro.
it makes me stutter. Um, Therapy question number 4. Last therapy question, y'all. If you didn't know your age, how old would you be?
I always tell people I'm 47, just for the fuck of it. I just pick a random age. I'm like, oh, I'm 47. They're like,
My
what?
favorite number.
I want to
My
look at
favorite
like
number.
you when I'm 47.
My favorite number and your number in football.
That was my first number, my very first number. But I was
47. I've never thought about it. Like if you say like you're way older than you are, then you're kind of like you getting credit for looking so young for your age.
no, I just throw it out there because people
Almost a yeah, almost a better move than lying and saying you're younger than you are.
and I drop it every couple of months. Somebody will be like, oh, I'll be like, dude, it's tough. Like I'm 47. Oh, I'm just fucking tired. And they're like, oh my God, really? They're like, oh yeah, I forgot. Man, you look good. I'm like, thanks, man. Really appreciate it. You know?
Black don't crack. Black don't crack.
Yeah, basically.
Um,
Like, let's go.
Okay, no, but would you actually say
Cocoa butter.
that how old do you feel?
How old do I feel? Well, 100? No, probably
Get that cocoa butter for your ashy ass lips.
probably 47. I mean, I feel like I'm older than I actually am just because I've been through a lot. It's like a mindset. You reach a certain age where it's more about a mindset or like what you've been through than it is more about like, oh, you're this old. Because you'll meet people that are twice your age and are a mess. And you'll meet somebody you're like, damn, that 24-year-old's got their shit together. You rarely see that, but those people exist.
Yeah. I'd say I feel like I'm like 27 or 8.
Okay.
Like
That's older than I would have said. No, I'm just
the managing director of my office is almost exactly the same age as me. I think he turns 36. Like I think this month I turn 36 next month, and he seems so much older than me, and not like he looks older than me. Just like he has 3 kids, he has a wife, he's like running like the biggest firm in a Fortune 90 company. Like it's I'm like, how the fuck are we the same age? Like I feel so much younger than you, but I probably look just as old, if not older than him.
Yeah, but that's where I'm like, you could be at a certain point in somewhere and not be as developed in another area. Not saying that about him, but
No. He's like super smart, great guy.
Maybe super smart. Like like there's a lot of like things that you were able to do around because like there's probably things that you were able to do that he might not necessarily have experienced, if that makes sense. Like
For sure, you meet a lot of people. He got in the business like when he was right out of college, like 21.
Yeah, and that's why like I always say I feel like really old because when I started, whenever y'all were going off to school, I was like, all right, I got to figure out what the fuck I'm gonna do with my life. So when I was figuring that shit out, I grew up like super quick, really fast to like not have my life suck. So I had to like figure shit out really quick. It was a lot of trial and error, but I pulled it off. But there's like so much stuff in my early 20s that I never really got to do, never experienced because it was like financial issues. Like I couldn't do it. Like it wasn't an option. So there were certain things and that used to bug the fuck out of me. But now I'm like chilling and I enjoy the fact that I've like this stability and that understanding. So I appreciate those things probably a little bit more. And where we grew up also has a lot to do with it, because whether you were doing shit or not, half of the people was like, oh, we're going to Greece. My parents are flying me out to Greece for 6 months, and you want to come? It's like, nah, man, it's all right. I don't have like 15 grand to drop on a trip, like the middle of nowhere.
I know my buddy P. Rich, he had his wedding in Greece and invited me, and I just couldn't go because I didn't have the money to go. And his family also invited me to go to Hawaii, like on a family vacation with them, like years before that, and I couldn't go because I just didn't have the money. So I get that, but I was also going to school for 10 years, whereas you were on the grind for, so like I still was involved in a lot of debauchery and like childish shit,
And I did. I
but
got to do
but
some
I
fun
was
shit too. But
equally as broke, if not worse.
oh yeah, there was a period of time where like I think some of my friends were more broke than me, just because like they were still in school, so their options were
Right.
limited. And like basically when I was like work managing on 6th Street and like in that bar scene down there, I started making really good money. It was like I would see those people on their days off. They would come to my job, which was always like super interesting. Don't miss that shit at all.
Yeah, you claimed that I got too drunk like in a Don Pablo's or
You
something.
did, man. I remember that vividly, dude.
Never been in a Don Pablo's in my life, yo.
No, it was you and Newkirk, man. You and Newkirk came up there,
Not
and
even wasn't even 21.
I know I
According
served.
to this state.
I gave you a dose amber, big ass mug, dude. I'm telling you, we'll have to get
Not
Paul.
even my drink. Not
We'll
even
get
my,
we'll
no,
get
I'm
Paul
just kidding.
Wall, and you like picked up this
I used
chair.
that kind of
You were wandering around with this chair, and I was like, dude, put that shit down. That was wild. That was like one of the funniest shits ever, because you showed up and you were pretty wasted with Paul, and I was like, all right, get y'all some food. And man, you were just wild at it.
It was literally half a life ago.
No. I just remember because I was high as shit, and I was like, dude, what the fuck, man?
Nobody remembers, bro. Uh, okay. I mean, I brought it up. All right, y'all. So that was the end of our therapy questions. Joseph, do you want to hit us with our? It looks like we have a pre.
Well, I just wanted to talk about these two things because there's a new prime minister.
Current events.
Yeah, just current events. There's just a new prime minister, man. And there's like no election.
So, shout out the UK. We mentioned Germany as one of our top listeners. Well, so is the UK. And I believe you're speaking about Liz Truss.
Yep.
Not outlasting a head of lettuce. Did you see that?
Yeah, I saw that.
Somebody had a head of lettuce, literally, exactly what I'm saying, from the grocery store. And they took a picture of it and were like, who's going to last longer, the prime minister of the UK or this head of lettuce? And the head of lettuce, still good for salads, and she gone.
Yep.
The fastest that a prime minister has been inaugurated and let go and resigned in the history of that, 1,000-year-old country. I guess they've only had prime ministers.
Yeah, I mean, how long was she in?
44 days or something like that.
Dang, dude,
it was
tough ass lettuce, bro.
It was like 6 Scaramucci's.
That's 6 Scaramucci's. That's some tough ass lettuce, dude.
That's some tough ass lettuce.
That's 44 days. Most people would throw it out before it reached that point.
But it's so crazy because she was only the second female prime minister in the history of the country. The last thing that the Queen Elizabeth II did before she died, like literally it was 2 days before she died, was meet Liz Truss, to welcome her as the new prime minister.
Yeah.
And there's some like ceremonial shit that the Queen actually has to like sign off on it, even though it's kind of like a formality.
Yeah.
And then so the last picture that Queen Elizabeth took is with this Prime Minister Liz Truss, and then she's just already gone. I mean, they're still burying the Queen.
Yeah, maybe she just wanted the photo op with the Queen. She wanted to say she did it. I mean, it was bucket list, dude, and she just wasn't that into it.
People are still in the queue, as they called it, waiting to see the Queen, and Liz Truss is already gone.
She's
bye. And then they were trying to get Boris Johnson back in there, who she took over for, and he had to come out and be like, I'm not running. It's like, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah, it's pretty crazy over there right now. And now they've elected a new one, but they didn't even elect him. He's the new UK Prime Minister. He's the first British Asian Prime Minister and the first Hindu Prime Minister. He's 42. He's the youngest Prime Minister in modern times. He's also the richest Prime Minister in the history of the country. He's like
rich, like from like back when they like had a colony in India?
Yeah, I guess. I mean, they say that
he's Hindu. And
He was unelected by the British people or the Tories.
Yeah.
He didn't give a single debate, interview, statement about what his program is. All we know is he's rich. Worked for Goldman Sachs.
Of course he did. It's so weird that the party. So the Tories is the name of the Conservative Party.
Yeah.
In England, that they can just like switch out who's running their country without the people of the UK voting just whenever the fuck they want until the actual election comes up, which is still like 2 years away, I think.
Piers Morgan likes him.
Okay.
So I don't know if that makes you feel any better about it.
No, I don't like the Conservative Party, the Tories, period. Like the Labour Party.
Well, apparently he's like anti-poor, so we'll see. There's a lot of rhetoric about it.
Like what?
Like workers' rights and slashing funding and stuff. Yeah. So I mean, if he worked for Goldman Sachs, yeah, he's gonna run it like a business.
The dumbest. That is one of the dumbest shits I've ever heard. Is that it's like when they try to get Mitt Romney in, and then Donald Trump, who's like literally failed in every single fucking business he's ever tried to run ever, period, and full stop. Like the Trump organization is about to get dissolved in New York. So don't even hit me with the real estate bullshit, but the country is not a business. Newsflash, world. Like, run it like a business. No, that's not how you run a country. You don't just like
Well, yeah, I've always just
lay people off to like get corporate profits up. It's like you can't do that.
Well, I always say that we have in this country, the way our businesses operate is we see that they don't like care a lot about their workers and like are all about exploiting the people that work for them. So why would I want somebody who does that want to run the country like that? That doesn't make sense.
No, it doesn't.
It's like, would you want your boss it's like asking someone who works in a factory, like, would you want your boss to be the president? Not maybe they're super nice, I guess, but I mean, more chances than not than like who are the owner of your company that owns. You want Jeff Bezos to be president?
No.
Like you don't. Do you want Elon Musk? I better not say Elon Musk. People are like, yeah, dude, he'd fix all of our problems, man.
Okay, but what do corporations like kind of mirror, which is like autocracy? It becomes like a dictatorship, like a lot of the time. It's like the CEO is the one who's like running shit. I guess like if you have a board, like if they have any power, but like if you look at Zuckerberg over on Facebook, like he has dual class shares, so like you can't vote him out.
Yeah, and
so
it comes all the way back, just like with Oprah, dude. You can't vote Oprah out either. And that's what I'm saying. These billionaires are crazy. You can't vote them out. Oprah ain't going nowhere.
Oprah's company is her company named after her. It's not a publicly traded company.
I'm just saying.
You can't buy shares in Oprah, otherwise I would have done it already.
You would, you son of a bitch.
Yeah, because I go where the money goes.
True.
Not a financial advisor.
Yeah, I definitely her book. I'd go buy into her book club, buy some book club stock for sure. No. That's all you had to do. There was a period in time where all you had to do was write a book and have Oprah be like, it's pretty good. And people were like, and then next thing you know, you're doing the TV circuit. They're making TV movies starring Tiffany Amber Thiessen or some shit.
You're running for Senate in Pennsylvania.
Yeah, now
from there.
Yeah, now you are. Well, no, he's a doctor. Okay, so watch it. He is a doctor. Dr. Oz is amazing.
No, shut the fuck up. I'm gonna bleep that. Okay. Full disclosure. Dr. Oz, not amazing.
Yeah, he is. He's the best ever. Now everybody knows I'm a Phil. Everybody knows I'm a Phil guy. No, I hate Dr. Phil. Jerry Springer all day. Gang all day. Let's go, Jerry Springer.
No. Dr. Phil MD, baby.
Dr. Phil.
Open the goddamn window before I throw a brick through it, you stupid whore.
He's like, shut up, feed me, and give me $200. Well, I can't remember what that quote is. He's like, You're ugly. Shut up and give me $200.
I love it. You know,
It's so great.
that's his negotiating skills. Like, you know, abroad.
You're just a bad parent.
That's what he says to Putin.
Yeah. You're just a small, angry man. You know that, right? You know you're angry, right? No, he's always, and what pisses me off about Dr. Phil is he like has always got this like bullshit lean back thing to it. So whenever he's sitting there, he's just like looking at you like, you lying. Like he's got this look that's so smug, and he's just like throws his hands up. He holds his cards like up here like a fan, and he's just like, you just think you can come in here and do whatever you want, and he's just like flipping his cards around. Well, guess what, mister? Not on my show, not on my stage. Isn't that right? My wife's sitting right over there, and everyone's like, yeah, fuck yeah, Phil. And she's like, sorry.
And my mistress is sitting right behind her. Okay. But at least he's not trying to sell you like some stupid vitamins like Dr. Oz. Like, get the fuck out of my face.
True. No, and now he's
or Joey bag of donuts.
Definitely.
Joey bag of dumb shit.
You're gonna drink water out of this creek in the middle of nowhere? Make sure you buy this survival straw, sponsored by Joey Bag of Donuts.
Yeah, and Alex Jones. Like, get the fuck. Like, it's like, like, what is this? There's a theme here.
Man, there's gonna be a biopic about Alex Jones, and somebody's gonna win an Oscar. I'm saying that right now. Somebody is going to win an Oscar at some point, or be nominated for something, or win a Sundance film. Someone is going to make a movie. Who would play him?
Let's do a fantasy draft. Three snake draft of who you would pick to play Alex Jones in a biopic. You go first. I'll go 2-3. You go 4-5, and I'll go 6.
I gotta think about this, man.
Okay, well, this is talk shit to get off the pod, homie. It's time to go.
We gotta move, man. But next episode we should have our list of who we think, because that's a lot. I don't know, because I can think of maybe one person right now, but I guess, but no, Jonah Hill really couldn't do it. It's like, that's what I'm saying is Alex Jones is a weird body type, man.
No, not if you have the guy that I have.
Who's your guy?
Okay. Old Man Huggie was on the clock, and his pick is not in. So with the first overall pick, Christian Bale.
No, it couldn't be Christian Bale.
He played Dick Cheney.
Yeah, but someone's got to be. Yeah, I mean,
we each had 3 picks.
I don't know.
I mean, Philip Seymour Hoffman, if he was alive.
Matt Damon could probably play it. Brendan Fraser. That would be the role of a lifetime. Brendan Fraser is Alex Jones, but they'd call it InfoWars. They call the movie InfoWars. That's what they call it.
You had it with Jonah Hill, except for Jonah Hill's too young.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It depends, because there's a lineage. You'd have to have a young Alex Jones, and then you'd have to have like crazy. So the end would be like the fallout, I guess. But that's gonna happen.
Are we at the end yet?
No, man, it's still going, dude. He's still selling shit. He was watching the amounts of money that he was having to pay out live on his show in real time, and was like just talking shit. He was like, buy stuff. They're not getting anything from us. Just like being ridiculous. Alex Jones is such a mess. He's such a mess. It's like unraveling on. But that's gonna be an Academy Award winning movie. InfoWars.
Do you want to hit us with the other one?
Does Clarence Thomas put a freeze on? So Lindsey Graham who's a senator from South Carolina, is being subpoenaed in the Fulton, Georgia County criminal grand jury for all this election and fucking with voters or fucking with electors and state officials. They have him on a couple voicemails. He was trying to get these electors to overturn the 2020 election for Donald Trump. Yeah, in another state. Like calling people out of his state, has nothing to do with him at all, and he's been subpoenaed to testify under oath, and he's been. And then what happened? And he's been ducking and dodging, and he's. I think this is the second time a court, I think the 11th Circuit, decided that they would not uphold. Like, he had to go testify, and now he's subpoenaed to, or he's asked us Supreme Court to step in and stop him from having to go testify. And then Clarence Thomas put a freeze on that order that he has to. So it's like in limbo right now.
Who is a Supreme Court justice, and so it went to Supreme Court, and Clarence Thomas agreed with Senator Lindsey Graham from South Carolina that he doesn't have to go testify in Georgia for trying to overturn the election, like a treasonous fuck that he is.
And what's really crazy about it is his wife, Clarence Thomas. That's why it's a big deal. Is Clarence Thomas's wife is involved and was like went to before the January 6th committee. She's been involved in all of this overturning and fake electors and trying to flip the election for Trump. So she's a known co-conspirator in all of this, and that's his wife. So that just seemed he should be recusing himself from anything that has to do with this shit, and he refuses to. So like right now, he might be the most problematic or like compromised on an ethics level Supreme Court justice we've ever seen in the history of this country.
100%.
Which is
and
really
has
wild.
been.
He has been for a while, but now this is like a whole nother level. Like I think that it's some like Boss Tweed type shit that they talk like 5 points gangs in New York type bullshit, where it's just like it's blatant that his conflict of interest is all over this, and you don't even know how much he's involved in that as well. And you can only imply that that's why he doesn't want anything to come from this in the first place.
Of course. Yeah, that's why he's not recusing himself, because he wants to make sure that he doesn't get arrested, or his wife. I don't know if he even cares about her, because he's talking about overturning interracial marriage in this country, and he's black and she's white.
No, I don't think he'd go for that one. I think he'd leave that.
He
but
literally
definitely
said it.
He said if he. I know, but I don't know. Maybe he said that he's like after she gets locked up, he's like, I had nothing to do with it, man.
Yeah. I mean,
I don't know why he talks like that, but he does.
Does he know that it's easier like to just go through divorce court than have to like
maybe not, dude. She's pretty wild.
Law?
She's pretty wild, man. She like grew up in a cult and shit. She's pretty nuts.
Would you hook up with her?
Absolutely not.
Okay.
No, man, that ain't my swag.
I thought I was your type.
No. Yeah, that's my type.
Well, she's thick and she's white.
Boomers.
I thought that's what you guys were into.
Oh, that's so ridiculous.
Allegedly.
Boo.
Boo. Yeah. Bad joke.
It's a long boo. All right.
Oh, it was still going.
Yeah, it was still going. But yeah, those are just two things I wanted to add because those popped up like after I already did the articles. First article. See, I'm getting so sophisticated now. I got the clips for all of the articles too, so I can bring them up. It's from Bloomberg. Drug makers at Eisai and Biogen notched a major breakthrough in a fight against Alzheimer's last month, which is super cool, showing they were able to blunt the disease's progression. The CEO explains what the discovery could mean for other neurological disorders. What do you think about this? This is like super badass and like a really big deal.
Because one of the things I think I worry about the most is like Alzheimer's or dementia, because then you're not really in a place to like make decisions, for yourself.
Yeah.
When shit like that happens. So, and the fact that like this breakthrough drug could not only Alzheimer's, it could like lead to a bunch of neurological like fixes.
Yeah, it's saying that like the way, because I'm trying to pull it up right now because I can't get my Apple News on my computer. Stupid. That's one thing that I worry about with like myself or anyone. But he was saying that to come up with it, they've been trying to attack this for a long time, and they thought that it was a protein buildup, like an excess protein buildup in the brain is what would cause Alzheimer's. So they had like 800 different people that they tested on, and it was like basically, he says, what led to the ultimate breakthrough? And the CEO said, first it was the correct hypothesis, second was the correct dosing. We did conduct a very large phase 2 studying before the current study, gathered around 800 patients to check 5 different dose approaches compared to a placebo, and then third, it was the right population. So it's super interesting that they've had this hypothesis on what it could be this entire time, and they've been just doing like trial and error for forever. Yeah. And this is huge.
It's called science.
Yeah, no, that's just like super fucking. I know that, and I was having this argument with someone about science, and it's like they were complaining about how like quickly we come up with vaccines, and I was like, well, look, I would hope, there's people that played football who blew their knee out like 50 years ago, where they're in the Hall of Fame, but their career was like 4 years because of a knee injury that'd be routine now. Now those people are back out there on ruptured Achilles playing football in like what 6 to 8 months. It's fucking wild. When if you tore your Achilles 15, 20 years ago, that could be a career ender. That was somebody's whole game changed. So it's just the medical advancement we've been able to make is absolutely mind-blowing, because we're obviously at the peak of our medical and technological like advancement and what we understand.
We always are.
I guess you're right. Yeah,
we're never declining in that. It's just like we're always getting better. But that's exactly my mom. She is not vaccinated because like Facebook told her. But that's what I told her the same thing. She's like, "Well, they just came out with the vaccine." I'm like, "Yeah." I was like, "They also just came out with the new iPhone, and it's better than the fucking like rotary phone that like was around like when the polio vaccine got invented." I don't know about you, but I like new technology and new science. I trust that more than shit that was made like in 1890.
Yeah, I think that like the leap we've been able to make, we've always steadily progressed, but I think that we've made such a leap in the past, 50 years.
Yeah, it's the
40
age of
to 50
acceleration.
years. Yeah, it's just like
it's Moore's law. It's like technology doubles and becomes half as expensive. It used to be every 18 months, and now I think it's like every 9 months. So that's also kind of it fucks with me, because there's two things. It's climate change is getting real.
Yep.
So what's the world going to look like in 20 years? But then there's the other side of that coin, which is like medicine is getting so good that it's like, do I even need to worry about like eating healthy or like drinking?
Well, that's like, are they going to be able to fix that by the time? And there's like I said,
think so.
Well, there's some boomers.
The first
like I said,
human alive.
Oh, don't even start with that shit. No, but that's like those Hep C cure commercials for the boomers. They're like, you've been hiding in secret, and they're like wandering in the woods, and they break out into some field. That's what they're talking about. Some of those people lived in secret for forever and had Hep C and didn't tell anyone, and then finally there was a cure that showed up.
Why wouldn't you tell someone?
That would almost be relieving. Well, I don't know. Maybe that's what the commercial said. You've been hiding in secret. So I'm assuming there were some people wandering around with secret Hep C, but I'm just saying, if that was the case, you got in the 70s, you lived to see a cure for that.
Well, oh yeah, we did talk about this. If you get Hep C and you live for decades into your 70s, is it really a disease?
I don't know. Maybe you have some treatment they were just giving you,
I don't even know if I'm going to get to 70.
Treading
you're
Hep
telling me
C water.
You're going to give me Hep C and I can go to my 70s? Okay, I'll take that.
But then, like, there'd be a transition. Like, he's not as yellow as he used to be. Like,
yellow.
Because you would get the shot and it would all clear up, man. I'm just saying.
Hep C is weird, right? Like, can you just, like, develop it? Like, it's not, like, or do you have to contract it from someone?
I'm not sure. I think you have to contract, but there's a lot of different ways you can.
I thought it was kind of like how there's diabetes 2. Like, where diabetes 2, you're not born with it, but you develop it.
Yeah.
I think one of the hepatitis is like that. Like, one you get from like trading needles.
You never hear Hep A. You never hear no one ever talks shit about Hep A.
Where's the PR team for Hep A?
Yeah, that's true. They don't. No, they're great. Like the reason we don't hear about them is that's because like we don't even know he exists.
They shut it down. They shut that shit down.
C. We're wondering when D's gonna roll up. Like no one even thinks. Yeah, they're like we've skipped
the Koch
past
brothers.
that.
They're like the Koch brothers. It's like nobody even knows what they look like.
Hep B barely exists now. Like you rarely hear that. But so we just start out with C. We're skipping the first letter, man. The OG. He's a ghost. He's like Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Shout out that dark PR team.
But back to the seriousness. This is super. He said it took him 25 years to develop this. That's a long time. That's like, especially like you were saying, how accelerated things are. That's something that we're having to. I mean, I guess hypothesize, like you said, educated guess on like what it could potentially be, and
It
how
probably
you go
has to.
about stuff.
It probably has to take that long, just to see if it worked. You know.
Yeah, but what it says is it doesn't like completely reverse it, but it stops the progression of it. So if you got caught somebody with early onset Alzheimer's, you might be able to like get in front of it and keep them on a medication and stop it from getting worse, which is, that's one thing that they say is really hard about Alzheimer's is like
It's progressive.
the progressive spiral that continues and continues. So if they had a way to stop it whenever they recognized it, that'd be huge. But they said it could be good for body dementia or Parkinson's. It's just showing, it's going to lead to a lot of different advancements, and also, better hypothesis for other neurological disorders, because aging is so difficult. Like, I mean, like you can do the plastic surgery shit and make sure your forehead doesn't move, but when it comes to stuff like Alzheimer's or Parkinson's, I mean, it's like, you can look at somebody who's awesome like Michael J. Fox, and that like literally took his life and his career away from him. And he's great and he's done well for himself. Obviously he's a badass, but like his acting career, he had to stop doing. He was like the highest paid TV actor in the world at one point when he was on Spin City and all that shit, and had to quit because he couldn't like hide the fact that he had Parkinson's, and he was still pretty young.
Yeah, but he could have, like, I mean, for all we know, like turned into like Charlie Sheen, who was also in Spin City, and then we'd just be like, Michael J. Fox is a fucking coked out idiot, if he didn't get Parkinson's.
It's possible.
I mean, we don't know what, he could have got Me Too'd.
Well, I'm just talking about the neurological disorder and the inability to fight it, because that was forever ago. Like that was long ago.
Like 90s.
Yeah, like so we were kids whenever that shit happened. I remember that being a big deal, and how
it was huge. Yeah,
there was this. You remember him doing an interview, and he was talking about how he had to drive around in his limo, like do laps around stuff until it would stop, so he could get out and go walk and do like a movie premiere or something. It's super interesting and really sad, but if we have ways to combat that, he would have had so many 20, 30 years more added onto whatever he's doing. He's on like Curb Your Enthusiasm and stuff, but now he plays it up and it's like he makes fun of it, like with the soda episode where he shook the soda.
You could still tell though, because like he like literally has like ways to to counter his body involuntarily moving.
Yeah, so
he's just like it's not the Parkinson's making him do this. It's like that's the way for him to not like just be shaking out of control. It's crazy.
Yeah, that's very true. Well, that's super awesome. So if you know someone with Alzheimer's, or if you're us and you're like younger, and that's something that I have like major anxiety about, like that's really cool. And of course it was done outside of the U.S.
Well,
Well, I mean, we don't have like the best scientists in the world.
Yeah, we do.
We have some of them, but I mean, most of them, our educational system sucks. The ones that we have aren't from here. Majority of them aren't here.
But they come here.
Well, yeah, they'll come here for like
and we tell them to leave because we're a bunch of fucking idiots.
Yeah, we're like, get out of here.
Oh, here, take the best education in the history.
You pray 5 times a day. You pray 5 times a day. I pray 3 times when I wake up, at lunch. You always got to pray over a meal. God damn it. And at bedtime with my baby girl. And if you do it more than that, you're a sinner, boy. Now come hold these rattlesnakes and praise Jesus with me.
You all about the snake oils. All right, you want to move on?
Yeah, sorry, man. That's just, they're wild. All right, this one, strategies to avoid workplace conflict. What do you think about this? I mean, I feel like you might see this a lot in your work environment because you're in competitive sales, right? It's kind of competitive.
My last job for sure, and then this one, yeah. Like I mean, like this morning, it's like every Monday we sit around. There's like 30 of us, and it's like they're putting up numbers, and like they're putting up like who's on track to get to this like award or whatever.
Yeah.
So they're trying to make it competitive. I'm just so new in it to where I haven't got competitive in this job, but the last one, oh fuck yeah, dude. Like I would like somebody be up $10 in sales on me, and I'd take it like very fucking personally.
Yeah, whenever I was reading this, it's just like avoid rude people and don't be a dick. But it's telling you like, what about someone who interrupts you? Can you please hold any comments or questions until I'm done? Bro, if you said please hold your comments or questions until I'm done. That sounds catty as fuck.
I'd be like, okay, I'm gonna leave. You come find me when you're done, and then I'll have some comments and questions.
Or you should say, interruptions break my concentration, so I'd appreciate it if you'd let me finish my thought before jumping in. That's aggressive. That's aggressive as fuck.
That's toxic as fuck. Like,
right?
That's when like a manager needs to be like, okay, like take control back of that meeting. Like, unless you're saying that to a manager.
If this was going on, or if a manager was saying that to you,
if a manager said that to me,
that's what I'm saying. You can't talk to people.
Talking to?
And then,
I'm not the one.
If you're interrupted, you should say, "I'm going to finish my point, and then I'd love to hear what you have to say." I guess depending on the tone on that one, that's good.
This sounds like I've been binge watching Summer House on Bravo. This sounds like something that one of like the drunk girls would say, like that, like, you know, I'm gonna finish my thought.
How do you?
It's like, and you're not even saying anything. It's like, okay, great.
How do you insist on data without sounding aggressive? You should say, "Oh, it's interesting that you're saying our customers don't care about that product feature. How do you know that?" Or, I think we're working with different information because I haven't seen data that supports that.
Nobody talks like this.
You're really just communicating that you're not going to let it go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You just be like, okay, show me the stats.
Dude,
Give me the numbers.
Some of these quotes are pretty great.
I know there's some of this training that they've had me go through, and it's phrased a lot like that. And I'm like, there's no way you're actually talking to somebody like that. Not the people who are being dicks, but the people, like the suggestions that they're saying.
What about trying to make the person understand how awful he is? Why is it a he? Why is it a he? Why can't it be just they are? Shame rarely inspires us to behave better. It makes most of us lash out further. Well, your comments above, let me finish my point, and then I'd love to hear what you have to say.
Yeah, I mean,
she's just see this kind. Some of this is really aggressive.
Yeah,
it's under the context of not being aggressive. I just think listening to the other people, hearing their concerns. I think that especially if you're in a leadership role, people knowing that you care about their issues in and out of the building as much as you do your own is better than being like, I don't think I'd ever tell somebody that worked for me, like, I need you to finish my point and then you can speak. Like, I wouldn't say something because you're just asking for issues.
To me, like, if you're in a leadership role and you feel like you have to say something like that, there's a bigger problem going on with that employee.
Yeah. And you can
just you go resolve that with that employee without other people around, because like for you to have to like interrupt them to tell them to not interrupt you and then say it in a sassy ass way like that, it's like,
those just come off as bigger problems. Yeah, I mean, you should always say that, like, you know, you should be having conversations before it reaches that point. Like, that's like, you know, if it's starting to trend that way, or if someone is starting to feel that way, you guys should communicate that out before it even reaches the point to where it's like, oh, well, you're interrupting each other. I would not take this woman's advice. I'm just like, because some of it's just kind of snarky. Yes, you should listen to people. And, you know, like I said, just because you disagree with someone doesn't mean that you have to like be a dick and rub in their face that you think they're wrong or that you disagree. Like, everybody's opinion is somewhat valid, so you need to at least hear their thoughts and understand what they're wanting out of this conversation, and then, you know, act accordingly.
Well, to me, it's not even the being having a different opinion that is the most like toxic, bothersome. It's when somebody is just ranting, you know, and not letting other people speak, and they're just like going on and on about some dumb shit, you know. That to me is way more annoying than if somebody had an opinion that I just thought, you know, there's like a better way. I could deal with that all day, but it's like when you're just being a fucking idiot and like making everybody sit there and listen to you like say nonsense, that to me, that's like where somebody needs to step in and be like, shut the fuck up.
Yeah, I mean, if you're gonna communicate, there's got to be some like point or some end game, and you have to, like, to actually want to work past the issues. But yeah,
Yeah, and respect everybody's time.
yeah, definitely. But I definitely wouldn't say, shut up and let me finish. That's not gonna. It's not gonna get you. I'm gonna.
It's like that's some straight Real Housewives shit. Be like, I'm
No
speaking,
interruptions
stop
break.
speaking.
Interruptions break my concentration, so I'd appreciate it if you let me finish my thoughts before jumping in.
Okay, well, you just interrupted your interruption. So what? Shut the.
Well, that's just like literally telling somebody like, sit down, take several seats, please. Please take several seats.
Yeah, that I would enjoy that a lot more than the suggestion. Interrupting me makes me break my concentration. Shut the fuck up.
Yeah, you just gotta be nice. Just listen. Don't be.
Yeah,
I say it all the time. Don't be a dick to people, man.
yeah, especially at the workplace.
Yeah, just don't be a dick. Everybody, just show up, do your jobs, be nice to each other, whether you like them or not, and then go
And
your
then
separate ways.
talk shit about them behind their back, like at the cigarette smoking circle.
Or
That's what it's there for.
or like your
That's
bunco club or whatever the fuck you do at the video lottery machines at the Quick Trip. Actually, that'd be lit. I don't think they have those at Quick Trip, but that'd be lit. If they don't, that's like a whole untapped market for those guys. All right, article number 3. This kind of pissed me off, but U2 apologized recently for putting that album on everybody's fucking iTunes.
still can't get rid of it.
Yeah,
Like not that long ago, YouTube, that album that they put on everybody's iPhone, I would start my car and my Bluetooth would kick in, and for some reason it would just automatically start playing that shit. And that was like literally like 2 years ago when this was happening to me. I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah, pretty wild. So he apologized. What did he say? I thought if we could just put our music within reach of people, they might choose to reach out towards it.
So
Not
funny
quite.
because I was just watching Pop Star,
Yeah.
which is like the movie with Andy Samberg, who's like, it's like a satire of like basically Justin Bieber, or just a musician, but they put their album into a washing machine and in a refrigerator. So every time you open the refrigerator, his album just started playing. And that was like exactly what U2 did with the fucking phone. Nobody asked for the album.
Yeah.
And then you couldn't delete it.
Yeah, and he takes full responsibility in a new memoir.
Give us the money back you got on that deal, Bono.
Yeah, and then Tim Cook was like, what did he say? He's like, oh, yeah, we probably shouldn't have done that. But he's like, doesn't feel bad. How much...
Oh, yeah, I mean, there's nothing to feel bad about. Like, you didn't hurt anybody. but yeah, I noticed that they've never done that again. And that was a long time ago when they did that.
Yeah, what did he say? He said, I don't think we give it away for free. I think you pay us for it and then you give it away for free as a gift to people. Wouldn't that be wonderful? That's what Bono said.
Jesus Christ.
You mean, and then Tim Cook said, you mean pay for the album and then just distribute it? Yeah. Like when Netflix buys the movies and gives it away to subscribers.
Yeah, but
we're not a subscription organization. Not yet. Let ours be the first. Yeah, I don't know about that.
Spotify's a subscription organization. What are we talking about?
Yeah, I don't know. I think that was like the fact that people couldn't get rid of it. And yeah,
that was the problem.
Yeah, like you can't get rid of it. It's just fucking fuck that. I remember I remember it was on my laptop when I bought my laptop. I was like, what the fuck, dude? What the hell is this in my iTunes?
So annoying. And who was that helping other than you two?
Well, yeah, I mean, they just wanted that Apple check.
Yeah, I know. I get it why they did it. I just don't get why Apple agreed to it. Like they're so like up in their own ass. Like everybody likes U2. I'm like, I can't name a U2 song except for Bloody Sunday, and I'm Irish. So like, I don't understand it.
What did he say? Where is it? There's not right about giving away your art for free. And this is just to people who like you too. He goes, well, I think you should give it away to everybody. It's their choice whether they want to listen to it.
No, it's not. Because I start my car and it just starts playing.
Yeah, woke up this morning to find Bono in my kitchen, drinking my coffee, wearing my dress gown, reading my paper, or less kind. Yeah, that was that. The free U2 album is overpriced. That was a really big fucking deal. So this is like the second time this guy's apologized about it. Um, yeah, don't. I mean, yeah, if you're gonna give away free music, it better be nothing but fucking bangers, dude. Sorry, I don't want like YouTube's
Smash hits.
like and I think if anybody did that, like the Chicks or the Dixie Chicks, if they because they dropped the Dixie and I hate them now. How dare they do that? Um, if they gave away an album for free, I think most people would be like, "What the fuck, bro?" If anybody did that, but U2 of all bands is like so weird, and for a whole young generation that was so off-putting. We're like, who are these boomers putting this shit on our iPods? Get the fuck out of here! Yeah, yeah, yeah! It's a beautiful day.
I don't get you two. I don't understand why they're so popular.
I don't know. People used to like smoke weed and finger bang or something weird to it back in the day. I'm not sure. I never got the obsession with it, but that was that whole like kind of genre of music. I guess you can understand Phil Collins more. That makes way more sense than U2 to me.
Yeah,
Like way more sense.
yeah, like Tarzan. Um, didn't
Yeah.
you have like yeah? I know. Even like what is that? Shit, I'm forgetting the name of the band. Pearl Jam.
Mm.
Even Pearl Jam, which I don't bump Pearl Jam ever, but like I'd rather listen to them than you two.
Even blow. See, but now,
That's every 90s. That's every 90s.
Well,
band.
that's every Pearl Jam and Creed song.
And like Three Doors Down, like
Yeah, but I feel like Creed because Creed had that same sound, but then they made it all Jesus-y.
yeah.
As were Pearl Jam, like Jeremy spoke on.
Yeah.
That's a good song.
Shout out Eddie Vedder.
Yeah, hell yeah, dude, let's go. But I mean, then Creed was just like, yeah, it was just too much. I couldn't do that.
Creed was always religious. That's
No,
the
I
name.
know. So when they came back, they were like trying to fill that sound hole, but then they tried to fill it with Jesus, and it didn't work.
No, can't fill any holes with
Can
Jesus.
you take me
Tell your mom,
higher?
tell your sister, can't fill her hole with Jesus.
Whoever can't do that. Well, yeah. So sorry, you two. Fuck you. You still suck. You made us listen to all that shit, and I'm sure there's some people who are still tortured by it.
Yeah, I'm one of them.
500 million Apple customers.
Good job by you, Tim Cook.
Whoa, that's insane. That's so many people.
Are you gonna round us up?
Oh yeah, well I mean we don't have to talk about too much, but hey, if you are in Europe, the USB-C is going to be the standard law. I mean, I think that's by the EU, which is kind of funny to me because you know that everything's just going to end up going wireless at some point, and everything's going to be wireless and fully encased, and they'll just wireless charge.
Well, isn't the new iPhone?
Oh
US?
yeah. So basically, the EU has made it law. It just passed through the final stages where the final approval to the law will force iPhone to switch to a USB-C. They were saying that they were kind of fucking with the market and being dicks by having two different chargers and making it difficult and having just making people buy unnecessary shit. Well, I wouldn't say that, but them not being the same. So now in Europe, they're all USB-C. I have an Android, so that's tight as fuck because it's great. And they've already started, switching everything to USB-C. Do you think they do that here?
Yeah, I thought that they were going to.
They just have to. That's like
it just makes money sense to them.
Yeah.
Like, they used to, like, all of Apple products. It's like you need the Apple charger in order for it to function, or it's like they like make it to where it's not a universal type of like plug.
Yeah.
So and I think they did that because they thought that was financially the move. But now that Europe's passing this law, it doesn't make sense for them to have two different chargers, one for Europe, one for the United States.
Well, and this is
they probably ran the numbers and were like, oh, let's just fucking do.
Well, think about here. This is like what's really impactful though. Is This is from the article. Regardless of the manufacturer, all new mobile phones, tablets, digital cameras, headphones, headsets, handheld video game consoles, portable speakers, e-readers, keyboards, mice, portable navigation systems, earbuds, laptops that are rechargeable via a wired cable with a battery delivered up to 100 watts will have to feature a USB-C port. So it's not just phones. It's like all of these devices, anything that falls under that. Also, it says devices that are too small to offer USB-C, such as sports watches, health trackers. Some sports equipment must have legislation to have it inspected to make, yeah.
Who's probably involved in this is the same dude who has like the alcohol wipes for the people who are about to be sentenced to death.
That's what he did, man. He took all of his alcohol wipes and he started a tech company and came up with USB-C.
And got everybody in the EU Parliament to be like, yo, you need to force every technology that's sold in Europe for this one specific way to plug it in.
Yeah, you got to do it or you don't get no lethal injection swabs. We'll cut you off. Like, oh no. Oh no.
We'll give you a lethal injection.
He sounds serious.
Without a swab.
He sounds serious. We must take his affair. How can we not? He has all these swabs.
He's got the USB.
Yeah, he has all these swabs. I need swabs. I don't know why it sounds like that. But no, so that's pretty big news. That's going to take over. That's a big thing. That's like making a lot of stuff compatible when it comes to charging.
Right.
But I mean, they still like we give you the charge block, but you have to buy a cable. And that's what
I got Beats headphones after they were bought by Apple.
Mm-hmm.
My mom paid like $400 for them, like it was a Christmas gift. They didn't give me the adapter, so it was like a normal headphone jack, but I couldn't play it in my iPhone because I didn't have the adapter. So I had to go buy an Apple iPhone adapter to listen to my Apple headphones.
How much was it?
I don't remember. It was it was $30-$40 just just so obnoxious. You're gonna charge somebody $40 or $400 for headphones and then not allow them to use them with your
it's buying a TV and they're like the remote's separate.
Yeah, that's insanity.
And it's $100. You're like, what?
Yeah,
I just bought this TV and I need how do I change? There's no power button on it either. So you have to buy the remote. It's like just put it in the fucking box with it and just raise the price.
Price it in.
Yeah, price it in. Like don't let me know. Don't tell me that I owe you more.
You're just making me angry.
Yeah, you're just making me hate you more.
I was gonna buy it anyways.
Yeah, so that's pretty big news though. So you'll see that at a micro center near you. You will definitely see that. I mean that's kind of a big deal. And now we can all share phone cords. We can all share them together, which is very exciting.
Yeah.
Any big plans this week? Oh, pup, what's up?
Yeah, just rescued her from the exes.
Rescued.
The hostage exchange was successful.
That's good.
Now big plans for this week. Just finally having meetings. Got some solid things going on there, and I'm trying to think. I mean, and then Phillies in the World Series starts on Friday.
And did you see that the Texans and the Eagles play each other while the World Series is going on?
Oh, I didn't see that.
Yeah, so like in the middle of all the games, the Eagles and Texans play. That's
There's
pretty.
Be a lot of Philly Houston heat out here.
Yeah, that's gonna be wild.
Come find us.
No, they're not gonna find you.
Did you see at the Braves game, Phillies Braves, like in Philly, they started doing the tomahawk.
Yeah.
But, and they're trying to like ban that, and then in Philly they were just taunting them.
Well, did you did you see where Ted Cruz was at the Yankees game for that? Where they clinched, and it was just like all these Yankees fans being like, "Fuck you, Ted Cruz! Like, what are you doing? You on vacation? Is there something wrong in Texas? What are you running from?" Just all these Yankees fans who are super pissed because they just lost, just like harassing Ted Cruz.
Got swept,
and he's sitting there waving like "bye," and everyone's like, "Eat a dick." It's like
he goes by Raphael.
Yeah, I'm gonna play that
when
clip.
He's in New York.
I'm gonna play that. I have that clip set aside for Wednesday, but it's.
Oh yeah, so yeah, let's plug that podcast.
Oh yeah.
Let's get out of here.
Yeah, well, like, subscribe. Appreciate you guys. Talk shit or get off the pod. Number 62. YouTube still sucks. And yes, fuck you, YouTube. You do still suck. And fuck your music, except for maybe like 2 songs. And then like in like allergy commercials. Other than that, eat a dick. And yeah, check us out on Wednesdays. We're going to be back with Angry Black Quarterback. Another episode, number 9. Man, that's 9 weeks. I've been doing 2 a week. So we're getting this shit down. I'm going to go over some stuff. I think
You've been doing 2 a week?
Well, because if we do Monday and then Wednesday.
Oh, this you're including this. I thought you meant.
Yeah, no, I mean like Monday, Wednesday. So like it's,
yeah.
So I mean, we've just like stayed on top of it. It'll be on Wednesday, not Thursday. Sorry for last week. But yeah, man, that's been taking some traction. We've been doing good. This has been fun, man.
Angry Black Quarterback, baby.
Yeah, and follow Instagram, Twitch, Tumblr, Flickr, Pinterest, whatever the fuck. But yeah, as always, you guys need to be good, stay safe, stay out of trouble. Seriously, don't get like arrested or something. Shit be wild right now. And as always, go fuck yourselves.
Shout out.
Recording stopped.
Good job by you, man.